Not wrong. It's
No,
a
I'm
very
not saying I'm wrong, but when you think about what Ruth had, if it wasn't for Babe Ruth, would the Yankees have the prestige they did?
Right. That's what's going to win him that matchup.
Now I'm swaying more towards Ruth.
Plus, you need to also put into consideration, like I said, Ruth was how many years ago, and people still know who the fuck he is. You can ask any casual fan who's the best player in the history of baseball.
Judge talking today.
You got out. All right, we got the bobbleheads out today. Yeah, just leave it like just like that, Donald. Just move it a little bit to the other side. There you go. Perfect. All right, welcome everybody. Yankee Chronicles podcast. I'm Bobby. I am here with Evan, Rob, and Judge, and Donald. And no, before we get started, we just want to ask you to check out Statement Games.
God damn it, Donald.
You screwed up the intro. So check out statementgames.com. You can find your unique experience to your fantasy sports. Check out DocAdamsBaseball.org. You can learn about the founder of baseball. And as always, listen to us on Radioplaylive.com Monday through Friday. So there's an interesting thing going on.
What's he doing down there?
I don't know what he's doing, but it's Monday. Nothing's going to make sense today. We had a long show last night. We're just tired. We've seen each other enough, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I'm sick of all of you.
Yeah. But what I don't know what they're going to do with Garcia, because somebody, there was a report that I think it was, what'd you say, was Rob Clavich?
Bob Clavich said that the number 5 starter spot is a no-brainer right now, going with Herman over Garcia. And if you're going by spring stats, he does have a point, although
Welcome everybody, Yankee Chronicles podcast. I'm Bobby. I am here with Evan, Donald, and Rob. And before we get started, we want to ask you to check out statementgames.com, where you can find your unique experience to your fantasy sports. Check out DocAdamsBaseball.org and learn about the founder of baseball. And listen to us Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. on Radioplaylive.com. So when we ended Friday's show, we were talking about wanting to do the March Madness bracket Yankee edition. So, Donald, being that you brought this to our attention, you want to kick it off?
Right, okay. So has everybody got their lists?
Yep.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we got the, right, where do I start? Okay, so Ruth and Giambi is the first matchup. I mean, that's
pretty obvious. That's got to be Ruth.
I know.
Well, hold on.
It's obvious that's
I'm just
bullshit,
laughing
and they
at
should have never been in the
that,
same matchup.
There's some what I've got an issue with, it's awesome actually. It's an awesome idea. I've just got some issues with it. First of all, how do you compare what like Whitey Ford did and compare it with a batter? You know what I mean? Or how can you compare Mo to Matsui? They're both two completely different. You know what I mean? So maybe it would make more sense if it was like if they had like pitchers, you know, competing, the best Yankee pitchers competing for one area, best batters. You know what I mean? But anyway, we got this, so we'll do it anyway for the fun. So we got the first seed and the 16th seed. Ruth is the first seed, GMB the 16th seed, so obviously we go with Ruth. Then we got Pettit and CC. Obviously Pettit.
How is that obviously?
That's actually a close call.
I don't know if that's obvious. I would still go with Pettit, but that's a lot closer than obvious.
Yeah.
I love the CC, man, but the Pettit's got the longevity and the championship. So
I know, but to just you gotta at least give it make like you give it a little bit of thought.
CC was that ace for us.
Yeah, and Pettit was never ever our ace.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, it still goes to Pettit.
So many champions. All right, so okay, so
yeah, but we just explained he's had so many championships, but he's had it because of the cast that was around him. CC, literally, it was him and everyone else.
When he got here, he carried the pitching staff.
Oh, I love
right.
CC,
like Andy Pettit had someone better than him, and he had someone below him. Fucking CC had everyone below.
CC was the heart and soul of so many teams. It's just Pettit was more important than Yankee. So.
Yeah, no, but I would still say Pettit would win that matchup.
Yeah. Then we got Munson.
You know, the Hall of Famer.
They want a different bracket. That's all. No, there's no losers here. Everybody's going to get a trophy.
It's not even close.
I think this bracket would be better if it was
don't get mad at my opinion.
I'm not mad
against each other and batters against each other because I don't know how you can compare pitchers to batters. I'm not sure how you do it, but anyway, moving on. We got Thurman Munson and Boomer Wells.
It's Munson.
Yeah, Munson.
Who made this shit?
I know. Like, how do you
Thurman
compare?
You have the 5 seed and the 12 seed. So
explain to me why Vernon Wells is on a Yankee fucking list.
It's not Vernon Wells.
Boomer Wells.
It's David Wells.
Vernon Wells. Boomer Wells.
Yeah,
okay, good. That's better because if it's Vernon, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
Why would it be Vernon Wells?
That's
Are you
my
out of your
point.
mind? Are you out of your mind?
I heard you say Vernon.
I said Boomer. You're out of your mind.
Okay, Boomer.
So go with Munson there. Then there's Mo, the 4th seed, and the 13th seed Matsui.
That's an unfair matchup because it's two positions.
It makes no sense having pitchers go against position players like you just said. It's like having a shortstop go against the outfield. That makes no fucking sense. Derek Jeter and fucking Judge are two completely different players who have different, abilities for the team.
Wait till you see who Jeter's going up against.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be pissed. It's gonna be
just
fucking
you wait,
ridiculous.
Man. Okay, so I went with Mo, obviously, and then we got Maris and Cano. So Maris,
yeah.
Then Yogi and Tex.
Yogi. It's like I know Evan's head's going to explode.
Are they even trying with this fucking thing?
No,
we
they
need to
didn't.
make our own bracket. This is pissing me off. The whole thing is pissing me off. I'm making my own bracket. I want to see your guys' bracket too. Next Sunday, I better see it. Thank you.
Okay, so we got Donnie.
So
baseball.
We'll finish going through this, and then we'll make our own better bracket.
Okay, so we got the Donnie baseball versus Bernie Williams.
Bernie Williams. If you say Don Mattingly, Donald, I'm hanging up.
You're hanging up? What are you calling me? What are you fucking calling me? All right, I went for Donnie baseball.
Oh my
Of course
God.
you did. Such a Donald move.
Oh my God.
All right, so we got Jeter and
Kick
Tanaka.
him out. Kick him out.
That's almost like the Pettit Sabathian. I don't think it could go wrong either way.
That's oh my
That's a tough bracket.
Bernie
You're
Williams
hurting my
was
head.
so important to that team.
I need some Pepto-Bismol.
All right,
That's not for your head. But oh my God, I'm feeling sick too.
Well, my stomach hurts. The head's next.
It's just what it's Mattingly though. He's a
It's Bernie though.
I know that's why it's
Right. Well, it's
Mattingly's a
difficult.
top 5 first baseman. Bernie Williams was a top 3 center fielder for our team, who won us multiple championships when Don didn't even win us one. And your whole argument for Andy Pettit was championships. So I'm sorry, it's not Donald. That's a little.
That's a fair point. I can't argue that one.
Well, I love Bernie, but
Oh,
I went for
all right. So what's
Donnie
the
Baseball. Donnie Baseball had an amazing career with the Yankees.
For 14 years.
Correct.
Yeah,
Amazing.
too short. Didn't win us the championship. Didn't do anything. Sorry. Goodbye.
It wasn't his fault. I mean, the team wasn't good enough around him.
So
Well, so I mean, it's baseball's different from like basketball. You know, like one guy can't make an entire difference. Look at Mike Trout.
100%.
He's one of the greatest players of all time, and the Angels suck. So I wouldn't blame it on Donnie Baseball.
well, and he's boring. Wouldn't you say that Donnie Baseball had a more interesting personality than fucking Trout?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm comparing with. I'm
No,
just
I
saying
know,
teams.
I know. I understand that, but I'm just saying for the game of baseball, I would say that Don Mattingly did more than Trout, but Trout's a much better player who's going to make the Hall of Fame and get credit for what he did when Don never will. Compared to the person you just put him up against, I don't think Don makes the cut. However, if you look at the history of first basemen in general, we were very lucky to have him. He's one of the best Gold Glove first basemen we've seen.
Okay, so the next one is Derek Jeter and
Hold on.
sorry.
One more comment with Williams. Williams is the player that was called up that sparked that dynasty. He was the starter. He's the
I
one.
know. I wrote about it.
So that's what would give me. I would give Williams the edge over Mattingly.
Okay.
Mattingly spurned a whole generation of Yankee fans with his, with his play on the field, but Williams sparked a dynasty.
Yeah, and how's Don Mattingly with jazz guitar?
Yeah, he can't play "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Okay. So 3-1.
Williams wins that round, that match.
3-1 to Bernie. Okay.
As he should.
We'll put in Bernie then. Then we got Jeter and Tanaka.
Easy.
See, again, it's you can't put position against a pitcher. It's nonsense.
I know.
No, but
So
there's also-
that means that the next bracket is Ruth and Pettit. So obviously,
We have Ruth, Pettit, Munson, Rivera, Maris, Yogi, Bernie,
and Jeter.
and Jeter.
Okay, so obviously for that, so it would be Ruth, and then okay, what do you guys think about Munson and Mo? I went Mo.
Mo. Yeah, it's Mo.
You got to go Mo. Munson, for the history of the organization, means quite a bit, but his life wasn't long enough, nor was his career. Whereas Mo, got us the championships.
Mo is definitely, and it's not a disrespect to Munson.
No,
That's it.
Munson's
And
on the
I
Mount
think
Rushmore
that should be
again.
clear that this isn't saying that the players that we're not voting for are irrelevant.
Yeah, that's it. It's difficult.
Right, but if you're
It's
building
it's the level of relevance that we're voting on.
if you're building a roster with all the guys on this team, you take Yogi over Munson and therefore need Mo more.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually a good conversation. How to build a team out of this bracket.
Yeah, because you can. I mean, they got every position. So
Roger Maris and Yogi Berra.
Yogi.
Yogi.
Yeah,
Yogi. It's fine. So obviously 3-1. We went with Bernie. So Bernie and Jeter.
Oh, I hate
Jeter.
going against Bernie, but yeah, it's Jeter.
It sucks. It sucks.
I
dude.
hate going against Bernie, but it's Jeter.
yeah.
Like Bernie and Matsui were literally my favorite players ever. So it's very hard, but it was Jeter. You can't replace what Jeter did.
Okay, so that means the semis would be Yogi and G and Ruth and Rivera. So
Oh my God, that's
That's
oh,
rough.
that's
I say we put
brutal.
this on. All right, we go to the other side of the bracket.
okay.
Yeah, give us some time. Those are
That's time.
wow.
Let's go to the other side of the bracket.
Okay, so the other side of the bracket, we've got
What a
Lou
joke
Gehrig.
this is! Oh my god! All right,
I know. The other one is wild. There's some wild shit here. So
goody.
I like this one. I really like this bracket. I'm not in agreement with you guys.
No,
I really like.
I think the names are credible, but the seeding on this is
yeah. So we got Lou Gehrig and Brett Gardner.
I mean,
I'm gonna go jump off my back.
Marty Banks. It's got to be Gehrig. You can't even.
Yeah. That's actually hilarious.
Oh my God, I'm annoyed.
Once you say Gehrig, you don't need the other player. Not in the first round.
Oh my God!
All right, I like the next one.
this one's good.
Jorge Posada and Paul O'Neill.
Paul.
Fuck. I'm sorry, but I need to go Jorge Posada.
I gotta go Posada.
I went
love
Posada.
Paul O'Neill.
I love Paul O'Neill too, but I went Posada.
Posada was a silent.
I hate going against O'Neill too, man.
I know
You needed him though. The way Posada worked with the pitching rotation and everyone in that locker room was huge. Obviously, Paul O'Neill did the same thing, but it's a little different because I feel like the success of Posada really related to the entire team, whereas the success of Paul O'Neill was a little more individualized.
All right, so
for me, Posada and Jeter were the captains.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Evan stood by that since the beginning of time. Yeah,
no, because it's true. I mean, they
Posada
were.
was clutch too. You can't forget that. As good as O'Neill was, Posada was very
matchup, but obviously Posada outweighed.
Plus the longevity, and Posada will go down as one of the greatest catchers.
I already know. I already know how Evan's going to vote on the next matchup.
Oh, Jesus, what?
Okay, so we have Reggie Jackson and David Cone.
David Cone.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Reggie.
I know it's Mr. October, but he was a
Asshole.
Yeah.
Scumbucket.
Asshole.
This is really hard for me because David Cone is actually one of my favorite Yankees of all time.
One of those he was in that championship run. The perfect game.
So
I think that gives him the edge over.
Well, also, if you look at the history of Yankees outfielders, it's much more stacked. There's much more options than if you look at the rotation and the bullpen and stuff. So for me, taking someone like Cone is because there might not be another person on that list who's worthy of getting the 5th or 6th starter spot if you have that option. Reggie, he's really good, but is he, top 5 outfielders? I don't think so for us. I don't think he was.
For us, no.
It's tough for me because David Cone's actually one of my favorite Yankees of all time, let alone pitchers.
I think
he got that clutch out. When he was basically a broken pitcher and he got that clutch out against Mike Piazza, in the Subway Series. That was an underrated out. That was vital to us winning the World Series that year. But I actually went Reggie, man, Mr. October. At the time, I don't know.
A tie here.
It's a tie.
Yeah, Donald's making some crappy picks tonight.
But I'm happy either way because I do love David Cone.
I said Reggie at first, but just for the sake of getting a winner, I'll go with Cone. That to me, that's a good matchup too, because you can really make a good argument for both of them.
So we'll go Dave Cone then.
Just for the sake of having somebody advance.
I think so far the Posada matchup was the best one.
Yeah.
Now, next one's Whitey Ford and Aaron Judge. Whitey Ford.
See, that's frustrating because Judge's career is pretty much in its
not written yet
right now. It hasn't. He's had his injuries. If we see him do another 52 home run season, then I'm sorry, he's going to be on the top of most people's lists. I mean, that's just incredible. Yeah. But at this moment, you got to give it to Whitey Ford.
It's Whitey.
That's why
Whitey Ford isn't Whitey Ford our best pitcher of all time?
Yeah, for us, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably top 5 in the whole game.
Yeah, that's Whitey easily.
That's it. I thought it was a no-brainer, that one. Now, Evan's going to lose his absolute shit with this one.
Yep.
A-Rod versus Scott Brocious.
I'm going Brocious. Fuck
I'm
A-Rod.
going Brocious too.
I'm going Brocious.
That's
Brocious did a lot more for the Yankees than A-Rod did. I don't give a shit about A-Rod's MVPs because we only won 1 championship. Brocious was looked at as a terrible signing, and he was very, very good for us for 4 consecutive seasons at the hot corner. He didn't make a lot of errors. He hit. He was clutch. Unlike the guy he's going against, he did his damn job. Fuck A-Rod. I'm going Brocious.
Yeah, I like Brocious. I thought Brocious had more of a Yankee mentality than A-Rod. So,
yeah, I mean,
A-Rod.
Of course you did, Donald. Of course you did.
Fucking take a lap around the building.
We don't have time for that.
Yeah, seriously.
A-Rod's Yankee numbers were actually really fucking good, man. So
this is another easy pick.
Yeah, now we got Joe DiMaggio, obviously, and Curtis Granderson. How the fuck did Curtis Granderson get in this? I would never ever consider Curtis Granderson anywhere remotely near the best Yankee list ever.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
Completely unacceptable.
Take him off the list right now and add a random person who's not on it who deserves it more. Go ahead, Donald.
I thought I could name a whole host of guys that prefer to Curtis Granderson.
So take.
I think Clemens. Clemens is more of a better
Clemens,
option.
done.
Yeah, I put Roger Clemens there. I mean, jeez.
The first
what a relief pitcher.
I put fucking Ricky Leday over fucking Curtis Granderson.
Where's Ron Guidry? I just thought about where's Ron Guidry? He's not on this list either.
Ron Guidry. Thank you. The Gator. Where's he?
That's
Ricky
why
Anderson.
we're going to make our own. We're going to announce the Chronicles bracket next Sunday.
Curtis Granderson. Nick Swisher was better than Curtis Granderson.
We're going to come more realistic bracket.
No, all Granderson did was hit home runs. Like, people need to stop.
He struck out a million times, and he only had 1 decent season for us, and the rest was pretty shit.
Yeah.
And he wasn't our best fielder. It's not like he made up for it in defense.
Yeah, he loses by default. Fuck Granderson.
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke. That was a joke. No.
Yeah.
This is a good matchup, even though it's 2 different positions.
So now we've got the Mick versus...
No, you skipped one.
You skipped one.
Well, have I?
The one above that.
What's the next one?
Mussina versus Tino.
That's it. Mussina versus Tino.
Oh, shit.
That's a good one. That's a good one, man.
That is, you know what? As much as, he's a Hall of Famer, Mussina, I got to go with Tino.
Yeah, I feel like you have to go Tino there.
But he had his offense and his first base play was key to those.
Yeah.
Man, Mussina was so freaking good for us.
But I'm like, you know what? We kind of. I like Tino.
I'm a Tino guy. I fucking love Tino Martinez. Loved Tino Martinez.
This should have been like a semifinal matchup, not a first round.
Tino Martinez is my top 5 favorite Yankees of all time. Fucking love him.
What do you think, Ev?
It's Mike Mussina, but doesn't really matter what I think. You guys already fucking voted poorly.
You voted poorly.
You did. I mean, Tino was very good, but he's not a Hall of Famer. You just knocked off a Hall of Famer for a solid first baseman who was great for us, but
no, you can make.
No, we should have won with Mussina, and it's really frustrating that we didn't, because if we had, everyone would be giving him the credit that he deserves as one of the best pitchers in that generation against steroid users in the fucking AL East. He didn't pitch in any other league. It's the hardest league, and he did it against nothing but steroid users.
Yeah, you do have to take that into account.
It's true.
And he's top 30 for WAR in pitchers in the Hall. I know people don't give a shit about WAR, but that is a big fucking deal.
No one's discrediting Messina, but if we're going by simply by Yankees, I mean, you're going to go by the guy who won the rings. And it's not like Tino was a slouch on championship teams. He, like I said with Brocious, he held his freaking own. He did his job. Not saying Messina didn't.
That's what makes that era so unique and special, is that we had a team that was built around chemistry and not superstardom. And it worked. You know, they weren't going out there trying to pay for all these free agents. They were going out there trying to get a balanced team based on what needs we had. And Tino and Scott Brocious filled those needs at a time when we had to have it. And that's why we won.
Looking at Tino's numbers, man. 123 RBIs, 98, 141 RBIs in 97, then 117 in 96, and 111 in 95. Come on. Those are insane.
You know what? I think Evans kind of won the battle.
Well, I'm trying to build a rotation, and I think, you know, that's what wins championships. So if this bracket is about building a team, then I would go that way. If it's about who the best Yankee is, which I don't even know what that means, because it depends on what player you're talking about and how that player is used, because obviously Babe Ruth is going to win the whole fucking thing. There's no compare. Who's he going to lose to?
But in the same argument, Tino Martinez hit 44 home runs and 141 RBIs as a non-steroid user in a steroid era. That's pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah, it just sucks. This pick, I think, is one of the hardest, and I think it makes it, you know, for each player, you can make an overwhelming case for. That's why this sucks. This really pisses me off that this is a first round matchup.
That's a great matchup. That was a good one. So obviously, I voted Tino.
Well, we kind of have a tie now because Tats.
Yeah, I was moving over.
Switched up. Uh-oh. Evan hated it so much.
Did Bobby change your mind again because Evan's got such a compelling argument?
No, what Evan said was when you look at what the AL East was in Messina's days as a Yankee. You know, he only pitched in the AL East. He was putting up Hall of Fame numbers, you know, in a steroid era. You know, and
but then, as I just said, Tino Martinez is driving in 140 runs, and hitting 44 home runs in the steroid era, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah, but the thing is, what it seems like people are missing here is it's not about career; it's about them as a Yankee.
Yeah.
So Tino's years as a Yankee, you have to say, were probably better than Messina's because Tino won and he did a very good job doing it. I'm not trying to discredit Messina at all, but if you're going by the Yankee years, Tino was with Messina for one of those years, and they both contributed a ton. But that was 01, right? We had a Messina in 01.
I have to agree with you there because I've never considered Messina as like the kind of Yankee that Tino was. Just never.
And it sucks because like I said, they're both incredible. This is a very tough one. I'm sticking with.
We still haven't figured out who won this matchup, Ev.
Well, I'm not going to sway on my stance for it. I think it's a bad matchup. I think it's unfair to have Tino going up in the first round against a Hall of Famer. It doesn't make any sense to me. Tino should be going up against someone like Scott Brocious.
Yeah,
that makes so much more sense.
Well, that's why we have to do our own bracket.
Right, and it feels like no matter how we go with this, we're devaluing one of these players, and I don't think that's fair because both of them, you know, Messina didn't win the championships, but had he been on the team sooner, if he didn't waste all those years in Baltimore, he would have won all those rings.
Yeah. So I think we'll just have to call it a tie because I'm not moving on Tino.
Well, I mean, they're going to lose to who? They're going to lose to the winner.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah,
that's true.
That's a good point.
Okay, so then This is horrible for me because I love El Duque Hernandez, but he's up against the Mickey Mantle. So.
Yeah, we know who wins there, so let's just.
Yeah, that's horrible because El Duque. I mean, I can't say enough about El Duque.
Oh no, he's amazing, and we still don't even know what his goddamn age is. He's probably like 60 years old right now.
Devin's age.
No, like every 2 years, he was either 5 years older, 5 years younger. It's like, dude, your age does not change that much. Why is it you got a different birthday now? What's going on?
If I had anybody to pitch a Game 7, it would be El Duque, I think. We'd be fighting it out with Andy Pettit, but I'd probably give it to El Duque.
He was so clutch. I mean,
such a clutch pitcher.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's go through the next round on this then.
Okay, so we got the Mick. Obviously, Mick's gonna come beat whoever's between Tino and.
Does Mantle beat out Messina and Martinez?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so that
of course
we had all that arguing for nothing, really.
Yeah, and then DiMaggio obviously beats Curtis Granderson somehow, and he's gonna beat Brocious.
All right, so now we have Whitey Ford and David Cohn.
Whitey Ford, yeah, I mean you can't.
Yeah.
And then
there'll be Garrick and Posada. Garrick.
Gotta be Garrick. Oh yeah, you got Mantle versus DiMaggio. Huh.
Yeah.
So now we're at a variant that now this hot stuff.
Mantle.
So that's going to be interesting. Garrick and DiMaggio.
All right. So do we want to go back to the other side?
Okay.
Go to and now do the semifinals.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Donald.
So Babe Ruth versus
Mariano Rivera. Oh my God.
You know what? I have to be honest. It's got to be Mo.
I really want to pick Rivera so bad.
Personality made the Yankees, but what Mo did with one pitch.
Yeah, but dude, our entire history is based off one player, and that's Babe Ruth. Not only did we turn into the greatest team in the history of sports, we fucked up the Red Sox in the process and gave them an 86-year curse.
You know what?
You cannot beat that. That's all Babe Ruth.
That's the argument of arguments right there.
714 home runs.
All right,
2,213 RBIs.
Ruth over Rivera is what we're saying.
Well, see, the reason Rivera could have been seen as better, and I think he was a better pitcher than Babe Ruth, is because the competition in which he was going up against was better in this generation. Let's be real. Babe Ruth was going up against carpenters and shit. People with second jobs who really didn't give a shit. There was still talent, but it was a very different generation. And, what Babe Ruth did set up 100-year history for us. So for me,
I think I was a little quick to.
Oh yeah, I think so, bro.
I'm thinking even more.
No, Bobby, I don't think you were wrong for giving that answer. I'm picking Ruth, but look, to me, if you picked Mo and said that's my answer, I'm sticking with it. I would not blame you one bit. Because
you're not wrong.
I'm not saying I'm wrong, but when you think about what Ruth had, if it wasn't for Babe Ruth, would the Yankees have the prestige they did?
Right. That's what's going to win him that matchup.
I'm swaying more towards Ruth.
Plus, you need to also put into consideration, like I said, Ruth was how many years ago, and people still know who the fuck he is. You can ask any casual fan who's the best player in the history of baseball, and a majority of them will say Babe Ruth. At least 6 out of 10 will say Babe Ruth.
And that's what I believe.
So, all right, so Ruth wins. Okay, I'm fine.
And then the next one's actually very, very good too. Yogi against Derek Jeter.
Picking
That one's
Jeter.
tough
That is
because
Very
for
tough.
people like us, we saw the magnitude of what Jeter did, so it's
Yeah.
personal. And when
Yeah.
it's personal, it's hard to kind of separate the two.
yeah.
How
Yeah.
many rings did Yogi have? Like 10?
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
wins.
He had 10 rings. He was literally the greatest catcher for, I don't know, 15 plus years, which is it's a hard sport. And like Babe Ruth, he's a name that was known, as is Derek Jeter, though. I mean, if you do top 5 Yankees, Ruth, Jeter, and Yogi are usually in that top 5.
Yeah.
So this one's really tough, but I'm going to go
This
Yogi.
one is tough.
Looking at Yogi's stats, obviously his MLB career, he had 358 home runs and 1,400 RBIs.
But I think when you match up, when you more than that-
18-time All-Star, to interrupt. 18-time All-Star, 10-time World Champion, career batting average is 285, MVP, and he's widely regarded as the greatest catcher in baseball history. Okay, so that is tough.
You know what? I'm gonna give the edge to Jeter.
Me
Only
too.
because of the total hits, games played, just the Yankee numbers that he amassed in his career. Just even with the stack lineups that they had, he still had to produce.
No.
This is why I
Sorry,
hate.
5 rings
Jeter,
to 10 rings. makes a difference.
3,465 hits. That is fucking insane. 14-time All-Star. 5-time Gold Glove, 5-time Silver Slugger, 2-time Hagan. Insane.
If you take Yogi Berra out, you're taking 10 rings away.
But as you say, it's so personal because the rest of baseball made it a thing to underrate Derek Jeter for some crazy reason.
No,
But
he's
we
not
saw-
underrated, dude. I think
But-
the issue is that every baseball player has certain things that you can be critical of. And when you're critical of someone's favorite Yankee or one of the best in the history of the Yankees, people get all offended and stuff. The only thing people ever criticize Derek Jeter for is his range. And it's a fact. He had bad range. So I don't understand why the whole devaluation of him is there based on that one statement.
Yeah, I think another thing that people forget about with Jeter is how many players wore number 2 when they made it to the major leagues because that was Jeter's number.
Yeah.
The same way,
Why does that have to do with anything?
the players that he inspired to play.
Yeah, he's inspired a lot of people.
And Yogi didn't.
Now, I'm not saying Yogi did.
Babe Ruth. I mean, I think every player who's ever played the history of the game inspired the generation before them. That's just how it is.
But
We all had someone who we looked up to as well.
I think the fun part about these arguments or debates is we're in agreement with everything each other is saying. Even though we still have our who we prefer in the bracket.
If Yogi Berra had done everything he did in the 1990s and 2000s, you would be thinking very different thoughts right now.
You probably would.
I'll tell you one thing I don't agree with, and that's Donald picking A-Rod.
I'm still pissed by that. I might not talk to him for like a week.
Fuck A-Rod.
So I know it's just about Jeter. I mean, I guess with the recency bias, and we've all seen him hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, often live. You kind of go with the recency bias a little bit. I mean, he was the heart. He was the heart of the team. He was
I'm
the heart
actually
of
going
the
to make
team.
an argument in Evan's side, and that's
Of course.
personality. Yogi had a phenomenal personality for marketing of the game.
Yeah.
Right.
That's something that we push here a lot. So on that merit alone, I would give the edge to Yogi because of the marketability.
Yeah, but Jeter had
So was
it
Jeter,
too,
though.
dude. It's not
Jeter's
like he wasn't
incredibly
marketable.
Yogiisms. You didn't see, it was Yogi took it to a very unique level. And just really what he's meant to the game even after he retired. Where Jeter, when he retired, he kind of stepped away. You don't even Think of all the spring trainings and the opening days, the old timers day, or that Yogi was at.
Plus, Yogi died a Yankee. Guess what? Jeter's not a Yankee anymore. He's a fucking Marlin, people.
So that's a win for Yogi.
All right. We'll go with Yogi. I'm not gonna like fight it. It's not that big of a deal or anything.
No,
because Jeter's gonna lose to Babe Ruth anyway, so it doesn't really matter where we go here. Yogi's gonna lose to him as well.
It's a really tough one. I don't think there's anybody wrong because Yogi's a fucking.
That's why it does get, but that's the point of these. It's supposed to get tough.
Yeah.
We're friends enough where the debates aren't going to matter.
Well, it's tough though because
it's really hard to not say Derek Jeter because for what he's meant to the Yankees. He is the modern Yankee. He is the captain.
12 consecutive years we had prime Jeter, who was easily one of the best shortstops in the history of the game. Like that's you can't.
And one of the clutchest players in baseball history. There's very few people that are as clutch.
If you talk about inspiring other players, I mean, how many guys did the jump throw? How many guys, like Bobby said, wear number 2? I mean, how many times did you, as a kid on the street, mimic his batting stance? I mean, he inspired a whole generation, and I'm sure Berra did too. I hate having a pick between these two. This is
for me, he's the face of modern baseball. I mean, even if baseball don't want to admit it, he is the face of modern baseball.
It's a tough one.
This one is tough. But I'm giving the edge to Yogi based on his merits as a Yankee after retirement. I think that gives him the edge.
I mean, you can't blame Jeter. He said he always.
I can't really blame Jeter for that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can blame him for buying.
Yogi managed the Mets. I mean, that doesn't just detract from Yogi being a Yankee legend, So.
Of course it does. It's your entire career in baseball. Only his first half will be known as a Yankee. When Derek Jeter dies, there's going to be far more years of him not being a Yankee than of him being a Yankee.
And also,
I don't like that point.
Another thing, I think
you don't have to like a point. It's valid point, and it's true.
It's not really valid.
I think
of course it is. If he owns the Marlins for 30 years, he's going to have more. If he wins 5 championships,
what if he owns a baseball
team 30 years? Yeah, dude.
What if he owns a baseball team?
No, I think.
How did George Steinbrenner make his money?
I think something else.
Exactly. He's known for the second half of his life, not the first half.
Yeah, but he didn't play.
He didn't have to. He bought a team and then became something that he wasn't because of his investment.
Right, we're flying off course.
I'm not flying off course.
Anyway, at the end of the day, Jeter or Yogi's probably going to lose to Babe Ruth anyway. I think we can pretty much settle on that, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
So who's next?
Does William Shakespeare down there, does he agree with the candlelight?
I don't agree with anything you say, Donald.
All right, Shakespeare. How's the candles going? So, anyway, Babe Ruth. I think Babe Ruth makes it to the final. Now, on the other one, we go.
Wait, are we in the finals already?
No, he makes it to the. Well, he makes it to the one half of the final, right?
The semifinal.
No, he's going to be in the final because he's going against Berra. So, what Donald's saying is that
we already know that Ruth's going to end up in the final.
Yeah, that's what my point is.
Okay. All right,
I don't think it's that easy.
I'm getting confused. Shocked.
And then on the other side, this is where it gets kind of interesting. So, what are you guys thinking here between Joe DiMaggio and the Mick?
Mantle.
Jesus Christ.
Mantle.
DiMaggio and Mantle. Shit.
Mantle.
DiMaggio was a dick, according to 61. Going Mantle.
Really, bro?
Their careers are
61.
Their careers are fucking incredible. I was looking at their careers.
Yeah,
I was looking at their careers today. So Joe DiMaggio obviously is known for the 56-game hitting streak, the 9 World Series.
Of course,
this is a tough one.
The 2,214 hits, 1,500 ribbies. But then Mickey Mantle somehow still beats that. 536 home runs, 2,400 hits, 1,500 ribbies, 20-time All-Star, and a Triple Crown.
Yeah, if you get a Triple Crown in baseball, I'm sorry, you automatically.
That's the clutch.
It does win. It's really tough for me because I love Joe DiMaggio.
The Triple Crown.
I absolutely adore Joe DiMaggio.
For me, though, the only person who could possibly beat Babe Ruth, and it's very, 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 very small margin.
Mantle.
Ted Williams.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Yankees. Yeah, that's a good argument.
That's the problem. I'm saying if Ted Williams was a Yankee, I think he would be on a majority of these lists. What he did was
imagine that.
He had the most fluid swing I have ever heard about. Unfortunately, I never got to see him play. But like when he died, I believe it was in the 90s, people at camp were literally weeping at lunch when we found out he died. I went to camp in Maine, so they're all Boston Red Sox fans, but that would have been the same case for all Yankees fans. I mean, he was really loved.
Yeah, when he died, the baseball world weeped. Yeah.
And he left for 4 years in his prime. Those years, he probably could have broken records and probably would have. So,
y'all remember the All-Star game where Ted Williams was wheeled out and Jeter shook his hand and Nomar and all that? That was a wonderful moment. That was a great moment.
Yeah. He's the only Red Sox that I have no bias towards whatsoever.
Of course, no.
It's a shame.
Finish the list. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we got. I completely agree with you. Mickey wins, although it's tough for me because Joe DiMaggio is one of the reasons why I fell in love with baseball.
That's Joe.
But we'll go with Mick here, and then it's between Mick and Garrick, and that's a great matchup again.
Shit.
Wait, no, did we pick Garrick versus? We didn't do Garrick versus Whitey.
You're quite correct. I apologize.
Well, is it really
Garrick versus Whitey Ford?
I don't think that's so obvious.
I didn't say it's obvious. I completely forgot. But yeah, I went with Garrick. But
I would have to say Garrick.
I'm going with Whitey Ford. He's the greatest pitcher in the history of our organization.
I'm going with Whitey too. I agree with Evan there.
Yeah, I think Babe Ruth is the epitome of our best player, and Whitey Ford would be on the opposite side for pitchers.
There's Don Larson on this list.
That's a good point too.
There's no Don Larson on this list. I just realized that.
No, that's right. As much
I don't want you guys to sleep on Lou Gehrig, though.
Oh, we're not. But
we're not at all.
No, you know what? If we're having trouble with this, when we put our bracket out next Sunday, it's going to be insane. We're going to actually do it a little better.
And you know, Evan, how you said if you get a Triple Crown, you win it. Lou Gehrig won the Triple Crown in 34.
Yeah, see, it's really tough because how many Triple Crown winners have there been in the history of the game? Under 15, I think.
And his lifetime batting average is like 340, which is higher than any other Yankee batting average. That's 2,700 hits, 493 home runs. Are you kidding me?
No, he was.
And that's because his career was cut short, and he got ill. His career was cut short, and he got ill. Could you imagine the numbers he would have put up if he had the longevity of the 20-time All-Star that Mickey Mantle was? Could you imagine?
I want to imagine because it would be the most beautiful thing ever.
It would. So that's why I went with Garrick. That's why I went with Garrick. It's hard. I fucking love Whitey Ford, but the lifetime batting average is fucking insane.
Oh man, I can't be mad either way. I really can't.
Well, maybe get the Whitey Ford numbers up. Let's see.
He was a special Yankee, man. Whitey Ford was fucking special.
Yeah. This one is very tough. It's because they really can't go wrong here. At the same time, you can be wrong because you're leaving somebody out.
Yeah.
10-time All-Star, 6-time World Series champion, won 1 Cy Young, 3-time AL wins leader, 2-time MLB ERA leader, 275 earned run average lifetime. 236 wins.
Oh man! Oh my God! Can we? Can we give them both participation awards?
Yeah, right.
Let's just go Gehrig.
Yeah, we
I
have.
think
to have
Gehrig
somebody.
edges it,
We can't have a tie in this one.
No.
but that makes it
I have to
really
stand by
exciting.
the Triple Crown. I really have to. You know,
Yeah.
if you do that, you're
That's
the greatest
that's
hitters to
special.
ever live.
Well, then we're gonna love this final on this side because this one's
Yeah.
gonna be good.
Lou Gehrig versus Babe Ruth.
Always says you got to go against Mantle.
You know what I think is crazy? That we ended up with teammates in the finals.
Did Gehrig beat Mantle? Did we even go through that one yet?
I think I just did. I'm jumping. Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
jumped.
let's fight it out. Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig. I'm pretty sure Mickey Mantle did edge. Lou Gehrig did edge Mickey Mantle. We all kind of agree
Yeah,
on
because of
that.
the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give it to Gehrig.
Yeah, we gave
Didn't Mickey win a Triple
we gave
Crown?
it to Nick.
Did Mickey
Did.
Mantle not win a Triple Crown?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yes,
did too.
Okay, so how?
Because look at the other stats. It's tough, but
Yeah. Well, it's actually very close. So Gehrig had 493 home runs. Mantle had 536. Mantle had 2,415 hits, but Gehrig had 1,700.
Yeah,
And Gehrig had less longevity to Mickey Mantle because he was sick.
Yeah.
But Mickey Mantle was 20-time All-Star. Mickey Mantle's lifetime batting average is 298. Lou Gehrig's batting average is 340.
the batting
Your
average
big-
doesn't
your
matter
biggest
anymore,
point-
Donald. Ugh.
your biggest point is longevity. I think that really screws up, the perception.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go with Mantle, I guess. I don't know.
You're going to go with Mantle?
Yeah.
I don't really know. I could go with. I'd be happy with either one. If I flipped the coin, I don't really care.
Because I just think that
And both of them, it
you
is.
can't hold Gehrig getting sick
No, it's not holding him
against him.
against him.
Gehrig would absolutely destroy all his numbers.
No, that's my
And
point.
frankly, he did
Yeah.
still destroy his numbers. He got 300 more hits, and he played less years.
Right, that's my point. Is that he?
That's also why we discredited Mattingly, is because of the years. He couldn't finish off his career, whether it was his fault or not.
Well,
Well,
that
he
was
was
his
going-
choice, dude. Mattingly was a choice, whereas Gehrig, he got
Yeah.
sick and had no damn choice. Had we
Yeah.
seen those prime years, we would have seen significant stats, in my opinion. Same thing with Thurman Munson. If we had actually seen what he could have done, he probably goes to the top of most catcher list in the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
Munson
is-
he could have been projected as being one, the best catcher.
That's true.
I'm gonna go with Gehrig.
I went with Gehrig too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gehrig.
I'm saying either way it goes, but you're not wrong. So
My mom's not going to be happy because my mom absolutely adores Mickey Mantle. Talks about Mickey Mantle.
I mean, if this was the most beloved Yankee list, I think Mantle wins.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, and he'd be up there with Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
yeah, but if we've been arguing based on the present on the impact as a Yankee, so I think that would have to be Gehrig.
I agree.
Yeah, we got to go Gehrig there.
Gehrig's buried in Mount Kisco, which is incidentally where my grandmother worked at Mount Kisco Cemetery.
I know Mount Kisco.
Yeah, so she took me to Lou Gehrig's.
All right, so now we got Ruth and Gehrig, right?
Ruth and Gehrig.
Oh crap!
This is the finals?
Yeah.
This is the final.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Can I step in for it? I really don't think it'd be. I mean, Ruth probably edges out Berra, but I really want to pick Berra there because when we picked Berra over Jeter, we were given so many his accolades, and I'm not saying Babe Ruth doesn't have as many, but Man, that's a tough one too. Berra versus Ruth in the last round of the first bracket.
Well, I think Yogi could win, and I think it's unfair that a lot of the times Ruth automatically goes to the finals. I think if you, like we said, if you look at the top 5 Yankees, they're all separated by a very small margin based on 1 or 2 extra accolades on their resume.
Yeah. It's probably end up being Ruth, but man, I don't see how you can go wrong picking.
This easy on ourselves at all.
I just think for this one, Evan with the earlier point about Babe Ruth is correct. I mean, basically,
yeah,
it's the house that Ruth built.
Ruth is
the Yankees. You know what I mean?
100 years from now, everybody, when you say Babe Ruth, like Evan said earlier, you're going to know who you're talking about.
Right, and he also defined the game. He was the first person at the infancy of baseball to be both a star pitcher and a star offensive talent. We've never seen that again in 100 years, except Ohtani, who fucking sucks. And I hate that they compare him to Babe Ruth. You're not even close. You're not even the same fucking. Yeah, dude.
Like Babe Ruth's pitching numbers was actually insane. Now, obviously, it didn't necessarily matter with the Yankees, but his
Rob, you drive me nuts, Rob. You drive me fucking crazy right now.
Babe Ruth's earned run average was 228, and he had 94 wins as a pitcher. 228 ERA.
No, Ruth really, you can't.
Aaron Judge talking today.
You got out. All right, we got the bobbleheads out today. Yeah, just leave it like just like that, Donald. Just move it a little bit to the other side. There you go. Perfect. All right, welcome everybody. Yankee Chronicles podcast. I'm Bobby. I am here with Evan, Rob, and Judge, and Donald. And no, before we get started, we just want to check out Statement Games.
God damn it, Donald.
You screwed up the intro. So check out statementgames.com. You can find your unique experience to your fantasy sports. Check out DocAdamsBaseball.org. You can learn about the founder of baseball. And as always, listen to us on Radioplaylive.com Monday through Friday. So there's an interesting thing going on.
What's he doing down there?
I don't know what he's doing, but it's Monday. Nothing's going to make sense today. We had a long show last night. We're just tired. We've seen each other enough, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I'm sick of all of you.
Yeah. But what I don't know what they're going to do with Garcia, because somebody, there was a report that I think what'd you say it was Rob Klavich?
Bob Klavich said that the number 5 starter spot is a no-brainer right now, going with Herman over Garcia. And if you're going by spring stats, he does have a point. Although, I'd rather it be Garcia because I have my my thought that Herman's more effective as a 6th starter and out of the bullpen. But I can see them doing that with Garcia simply because he has the minor league options. And it'd be better to keep him in the minors instead of having him just sit on the bench and not pitch, because it's almost been guaranteed they're going 4-man rotation for the first couple of weeks or whatever it is with all those off days. So
you can't have him sit.
Right.
It's a waste of time. You need him to at least develop, in the minors. So
stay in the alternate site, and then when the minor leagues start, he can pitch there until they absolutely need him, which we know they will, because they're going to want to, either if it's an injury or they're going to need to limit some innings on Kluber, Tyone, and all those guys.
Yeah.
They know they have Garcia who can pitch at this level. So it's kind of a win-win scenario almost. It sucks for Garcia because he won't be here at the start of the season, but you can understand why they're going to do it if they go that route.
Right, Rob, before the show, we discussed his options, Garcia. How many options does he have?
I think he has at least 2 left. I don't know if did they send him down because there was no minor leagues last year. So would that count if he was sent to the alternate site?
No, they
I don't think so.
I think
Eliminated.
I think they suspended the options rule last year.
So he might have all 3 of his options, which is exactly why they're going to be doing this. Whereas Herman, I believe, might have 1 or he doesn't have any left. So again, if you're going based off of how they performed in the spring, Herman has been nearly perfect, whereas Garcia's been very good. It's just been he's had a couple of hiccups here and there. So you're going to go with who's been better, and it has been Herman.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the kid. If he doesn't get the 5th spot, it dates back to the infamous, 1 inning that he got in the playoffs. I just feel like the Yankees have been.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say. I don't say the word because can you say unfair? Because it's a little unfair.
It is unfair.
It's a detriment to his mindset. It's like they basically said last year in the playoffs, we don't trust you. And now he's pitching well enough to earn the 5th spot. And they're saying, well, we don't trust you either. We're going to go with a woman abuser.
All but one of his starts was a quality start. In terms of, if you look at the way the baseball mark their pitchers, every one of his starts apart from one outing was a quality start. So, and then when you factor in the fact that he kind of got screwed over in the playoffs with a stupid okie dokie nonsense that he only pitched 1 inning and then they took him out. It just feels like, I don't know, that they are being unfair on him. I know he's a young kid and he's got a whole career in front of him, and it will be a successful career if the Yankees allow him to. I just feel that he's done everything to earn the right to be a 5th starter. He stepped up when the Yankees really needed him to last year, and he proved himself that he can pitch at the big league level. And then after the nonsense, which was Cashman and Aaron Boone's decision and the analytics crew's decision in the playoffs, the only thing that you could really hang your hat on was going, okay, but he's going to get a fresh start in the new year. He's going to get a leg up in the 5th starter spot, and he's going to probably be a 5th starter going into this coming year. And now, because Herman's just been kind of brought in kind of circumstances which makes most Yankee fans and also the clubhouse uncomfortable. But he's kind of been given every opportunity. He's pitched great, credit to Herman, but it's a little harsh on the kid. I think I don't know if his demotion, how that's gonna make him feel.
I don't think he's gonna be too
we'll wait and see.
affected by that.
I don't think it should be called a demotion.
I think we know that it's going to be.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I understand.
My point is that they need to make it very clear to him that he's going down, 1, because he has options, and 2, because it doesn't hurt to develop a guy who they're trying to have be the ace of the future. Cole's going to be here for, 9 more years or whatever, but you still need that other guy to become the ace by the time Cole starts to wind down. Yeah. And you think he's going to start to wind down by around year 6, 7, 8, 9. Hopefully it's the later, but that's what happens with pitchers. They break down, especially someone who's already had an 11-year career.
Yeah, I think if they're not going to have him in the 5th spot, they have to start him in the minor leagues, because you don't want to. The worst thing that they can do is say, "Oh, well, now we have another bullpen arm." We don't need the help in the bullpen. The bullpen's already, the arms in the bullpen are good to go. And they need to keep him at
have the 6th starter.
What happened?
You need to have the sixth starter, like
Yeah.
Rob said, and I think that it would be wise to put Garcia in the fifth hole and tell Herman, you're going to go randomly, but you will get probably 15 to 20 starts this season, if not more. I mean, he's probably going to get more like 25 to 30 with the way he's been pitching.
Right. And I do, excuse me, I do think he's more effective as that sixth starter and coming out of the bullpen, because Garcia, he only started last year. Whereas Herman, his first year as a starter, it was a lot of wins, but he wasn't that good. And it's hard to believe he's going to keep this up in the regular season.
But can we all agree that the opener is kind of a waste of time for a team like us?
Yeah,
I would rather go with the sixth option than go with the, opener.
I've been saying
And
it.
Herman feels that role.
Exactly. Perfectly.
I mean, the Rays only started the opening position because they didn't have enough starters to fill a rotation because they don't want to pay anybody.
That's it.
That's how that's how
Right.
their opener started.
And then it Yankees turned into a way to get more
Opener
depth.
is designed to even up the closer is designed to even up the difference in the disparity
Yeah.
in in payroll and pitching, to even it up. So for Tampa Bay to compete with the Yankees massive resources and starters and stuff like that, they've got a whole bullpen of arms that can pitch 90, 95, 100, and then they just kind of line them up. That helps you compete. But the Yankees don't have that problem. We've got the pitchers, we've got the resources. We shouldn't have to be using a closer.
Yeah. The other thing that was mentioned in social media was the idea of trading Garcia.
No.
I don't want to see that happen because we need that depth.
You don't trade Garcia unless you're getting a bona fide ace back or you're getting an all-star player. We don't need a bat. So we know we're not trading him for a bat. And unless we were trading him for a legit top of the rotation starting pitcher, you're not trading Garcia. He's almost untouchable unless you're getting a guy like Castillo, if we go back to that.
Right.
That's exactly the player I was thinking of. That's the only way you make that deal. And the Reds aren't going to make a deal like that.
Right. And most teams that want prospects, they're going to deal with the guy who's not coming up now. They're going to deal with, the high-end potential because they want to develop the players for their system.
Yeah.
The Yankees have spent a long time developing Garcia. They're not going to want to give that up because he's that close. So it doesn't really make sense to do that unless you get someone like a Castillo. There's no one else, to do that for, unless the Mets want to do for DeGrom, and they're not going to do that. So,
yeah, that's
right. That's a fantasy trade right there. If that's what it took to get DeGrom, then you throw them whatever they need because DeGrom is literally the best pitcher in baseball. But unless you're getting like the best pitcher, one of those top tier guys, you're not trading Garcia because his potential right now is through the roof. And we've already seen, aside from one start last year, he has what it takes to be very good in the majors.
Right. And we also have 4 prospects in the minor leagues who have that similar potential. Teams are willing to trade for those guys. Gil, Medina, Gomez, Vizcaino. They all have potential.
And even Clark Schmidt, there's a 5th guy right there. And his
Clark
biggest
Schmidt too, yeah. I left him out because he's close to making this team. That's the only reason.
Yeah, well, even and he's also on the IL, so he's not really. There's no trade to that. It's very, very. There's little value left. On a player that's on the IL. Even somebody with the high ceiling of Schmidt, a team I think would be less hesitant to take on a player if they can, especially somebody that's major league ready.
But you don't take on players during injuries because it makes no sense. Why would you, as another team, take on a player, have to work on their rehab and then develop them? That doesn't make any sense. Basically, use the Yankees medical staff because they're good.
Yeah, let them handle
him and then trade for him.
Oh yeah, because we handle injuries better than any other team in history.
I know, but my point is the value would not increase or decrease with who has to deal with the medical shit. So it's like if you try to trade an injured player, he's going to have lower value. If you fix him up and then try to trade him, the difference is very slight.
It's I'm nervously optimistic on how they're going to handle Garcia. I just don't want them to screw this kid up. He's too important for our future lineups.
I don't think they will.
Rotations. No,
Well, that's why they're being cautious with him.
Yeah.
To be fair, Aaron Boone did say that they're going to use 6 starters through most of the year. You know, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for everyone to pitch. You know, there's going to be rest days. There's going to be, you know, probably be some injuries, whatever. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities for Garcia.
Right, and then especially alludes to the fact that Severino's going to come back. They're not going to give him a high-end spot. They're going to give him 6 or 7 and say, go in slowly.
Yeah.
They should do anyway,
Yeah.
as long as they're doing their job right.
No, it's a good problem. It's a good dilemma. It really is.
Well, that is true. That's a great point. I mean, this is a great dilemma to have. There's a lot of teams that don't even have like 4 starters that they can rely on. 3 starters they could rely on, let alone 7.
I mean, you're watching this. You know, you're watching
7
this.
or 8.
You're watching the pitching
Clark
this
Schmidt
spring.
and Severino, and you'd feel happy with 7 or 8 arms that could pitch every day. I mean, we're blessed to be in this situation.
Yeah, you look at the way that the spring training. We know the numbers really don't mean anything, but the way you're looking at, when you're looking at their composure, their command, we know the results. They're going to get hit around when the regular season starts. So let's not take too much stock in the numbers for the spring training.
Yeah,
but when you look at the potential of what the rotation can look like, the bullpen, the closer role, the Yankees actually they got a very solid pitching staff for a need that everybody's been screaming that Cashman has failed at. I think this season he finally got it right.
No, the potential is higher than we've seen in a very long time. And
exactly.
Go back to the start of Severino's career before he got injured, we saw an ace there. We saw glimpses of an ace.
Yeah,
well, we're kind of seeing that with Garcia as well. So the fact that we have 2 young guys who are kind of falling into form, it's scary. And we have 7 guys on the team who have that potential.
Well, I will say this, going back to the spring training stuff, you mentioned, you need to have command and need to see what pitches are working. Herman, everything's working. That's why, even though the results have been good, even if he was kind of giving up a few hits and a few runs here and there, you can see he's got the movement, and it looks like he hasn't missed. Honestly, it looks like he's gotten better from what we saw, and he didn't even pitch last year. So he took basically a whole year off, and he looks like he got even better. So anyone who says that he wasn't trying to get better or working at it obviously is wrong, because he clearly was working on something, and him pitching in the Dominican League, I'm certain helped him as well. It's good to see that he's taken that approach to try and get better. I'm going to leave the personal stuff out of it for now, because, we all know how we feel about it. As a baseball perspective, he's been phenomenal, and we can't take that away from him just from the baseball perspective.
Well, the stuff looks better, and the fact that he has command, only heightens that.
Right.
Contrary to what some esteemed writers would say, we do actually have the pitching this year. A lot of the articles for spring training is how the Yankees are, don't have the arms, are taking massive rest. They are taking a massive rest, but a lot of writers seem to be ignoring the massive upside that are there. Even though some of them didn't pitch a lot of innings, Kluber's got a massive upside. Ty Owen's got even higher upside because he's younger, and he's got stuff that's still developing. He's got Garrett Cole, who loves pitching. He's like a pitching aficionado. He's going to work with them, and they're going to work off each other. It's going to be an exciting relationship between the 2 of them. We've got the arms, and so we're talking about the 4th, 5th, 6th spots. I mean, it's a good problem to have. I feel really good about where our pitching is. And the great news is, knock on wood, they're staying healthy so far through spring. And they're really showing their stuff.
That's why they need to shorten the spring, because I think you're starting to see the players are starting to pull back a little bit, because they don't want to end up getting hurt right before the opening day.
Right.
All the numbers are good.
What almost happened to Kyle Hendricks. He tripped almost over. He almost tripped, or he did trip over the first base bag. And imagine if he got hurt running the bases in spring training.
Yeah.
I also don't think we have seen full potential prime Cole for the Yankees, because if you look at last year, it was a very odd 60-game season. I don't think anyone got in the rhythm, especially if you go, to a new team. You need a time to get used to that, and 60 games, it's not even close to that. So the fact that he, will have a full season this year, but he's going to be doing it with his friends, someone in Taiwan who he really likes, he's going to be comfortable this year. I think we're going to see some incredible starts.
And he was fantastic last year, too.
He was
I
fantastic.
agree. He pitched really well last year.
Right.
I thought he was better as the year went on. I think by the time we reached the playoffs, he was pretty much flying on all cylinders. I thought he was incredible in the playoffs. He was everything you could possibly ask for.
Yeah.
I think he's Cy Young level, though. Like when he lost to Verlander, that was bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, we know that. He is the ace. He is exactly what you want out of an ace. You can make the argument he's probably the second best pitcher in baseball behind DeGrom.
He's at least top 3.
Right. And a lot of people will argue who's better, Cole or DeGrom. I'm going DeGrom every single time, but it's not a knock on Garrett Cole. It just shows how good DeGrom really is.
Right. But would you go Cole over Strasburg?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
Exactly, because Strasburg,
he's healthier.
I don't trust it.
Well, those are the 3. It's DeGrom, Cole, Strasburg, and there are others on the.
I'm not even sure about Strasburg at 3.
I'd put Strasburg more 4 or 5.
Yeah,
I think Max Scherzer is automatic.
Yeah, I'd maybe
he's just getting older. That's the only problem.
Maybe edge towards Scherzer there in the 3rd spot. But going back to Cole, the way that Cole pitched on short rest against Tampa in the playoffs was, it tells you everything about what you needed in ace. He was a horse. Yeah. He reminded me of CC Sabathia in the playoffs in 2009, or even before when he was pitching for the Brewers. He was a horse that was pitching only every other couple of days. He was pitching long and hard. He was pitching long into the game, deep into the game, and he was pitching hard and pitching well. That's what we're asking Cole to do last year, and he did it. So I think he's going to be even better this year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap things up for us this morning. So on behalf of everybody, YankeeChronicles.com, hope everybody stay safe, stay smart, and go Yankees.
Go Yankees.